Hey, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Man, this one's been a long time coming. This saw was a challenge. All kinds of stuff. Little stuff that was wrong in it. This is one of the ones, the boat anchor saws I brought back a couple weekends ago and finally got into it. It had its normal 350, 360 problems like a blown intake boot. And that's where I started, obviously. But there we go. I have so much more. So I tore it all apart, replaced that intake boot, rebuilt the carburetor, initially just putting diaphragms in it. That wasn't enough, unfortunately. Got it together, and it would run. I could get it to start, but it was drawing fuel very, very slowly. Made me look closer at the fuel line that looked good. It wasn't. Filter was partially plugged, so once I got that taken care of, then it would draw fuel. But then the damn thing was flooding out. You know, you'd get your mixture screws set to where it would rev out pretty good, but at an idle it was too rich. And finally I shut it down, and I could hear tss, tss, tss. So you could look down the throat of the carburetor and see that there was fuel leaking in, which of course meant the metering arm was set just a teeny bit too high. So went back in, got that. But the most interesting problem that this had, I'm going to have to go to the manuals and look and see what changed. This has an HDC 39 carburetor on it, and I know that is not what it came with, because this is an early 350. Even though the UT tag is gone, like so many of them are, the upper AV mounts right here are still 1/4 inch thread. They only did that for maybe a year and a half before they upsized them to the 5/16 threads. So I know it's extremely early based on that. It also is running the same S clutch that you would find on a Super EZ. Also makes it fairly early. So anyway, this HDC 39 is actually date stamped like 1989. So there's no way. This saw was 74 maybe would be my best guess. So what I'm getting at is the choke was operating exactly in reverse. Where it says up is run, it was choked, and I could not figure out for the life of me. There's no way to reverse this linkage. So I went to the IPL, pulled up a diagram of this. This is the choke rod that was in there, and I'll get a little closer so you can see it. You can see that there's a mushroomed on is the connection point itself. Well, the basic difference is the one that should have been on there is rotated 180 degrees, and then the choke will operate in the right direction. They're actually easy to replace. You unscrew the top, the butterfly plate, and get it off of there, and then carefully pull it out. There's a when you take the cover off, you can see there's a little hole here that has a ball and a spring underneath it. You want to put your hand over the top of that and pull that shaft out slowly if you're ever servicing like this. Otherwise that ball's going to take off into outer space, and then you're screwed, because good luck. I mean, there's new ones out there, but just take some time, be careful. You won't have to waste your time with that. So anyway, after all of that horse maneuver, I realized why the thing had been set down and not fixed, because somebody was just as frustrated with that damn carburetor as I was. The only difference is I'm too stubborn and pig-headed to give up on it. So got that done, lubed up the starter pawls. They were kind of rusted in place, but they're good now. It's got a great air filter on it. Looks almost brand new. So this saw will go up for sale very soon on the website. Other features that you need to know about: good ignition system, obviously since it was running, but this is a 24-inch bar. This is the Homelite narrow tail, so it's the same pattern that was on a 101, 123 Super EZ, but it is a full 24 inches. That is a brand new Oregon full chisel full comp chain that will cut extremely fast. This bar had some pretty decent wear on it, being as old as it is, but I ran it over the bar shop, re-grooved it, got it flat. You can see the chain is riding just right at the right tension in there. If out here it rocks about the same amount that you've got on the bar tip, you know you're good. Bucking spike. This has the appropriate for the age of the saw early side tensioner here. No, steel did not invent that. Homelite gets the credit. Why they stopped using it, that's anybody's guess. But anyway, nice clean firewood saw, folks.